welcome to Sprout League 2. This is the bronze match to decide 3rd and 4th place between Sbu and Boulder Wraith. Except I have just realized that the mini PC which hosts our server's bot turned off when the whole house lost power this morning. Which means I have to turn it back on in order for us to do the map vote. So you'll have to wait, unfortunately. Always really annoying when this happens. Because the stupid mouse doesn't seem to work over Parsec or something. There's something to do with no, I think it's something to do with mini PC, but I can't remember exactly what. In order to turn the bot back on, I have to unplug the mouse from my PC, my main PC, then plug it into the mini PC. Then use it to click on Hockey Chip to start it. Then unplug the mouse again and plug it back into the main PC. And then close Parsec. Alright, there we go. Now we can do the map vote. Sbu bans Volatile Metalworks and Bottomless Sewer, while Boulder bans Deep Blue and Emperor's Arena, while Sbu's 3rd ban is Champion's Court and Boulder's is... what is it? Combat Zone. Strange map to ban. Oh, that's just me talking. I was the one who made that map, so it always offends me a little bit when people ban it. Not too much, but a little bit. So the options for the vote are Boulder Basin, Rusted Ring, Construction Fortress, and Submerged Skirmish. Sbu would like to go to Submerged, while Boulder wants to go to Construction Fortress. Then of course our spectators are weighing in as well. Time's up, and the winner is Submerged Skirmish as our first map. We don't usually see that as our first. People usually like to save it for near the end. Well, anyway, we get what we get, so let the round begin. So, SVU is having to deal with a Wally with some Boldmen not too far behind. Oof, Boulder suffers 4 losses here, which means I should get the death counter back up. Where is it? Where's our death counter? Sorry my commentary isn't as enthusiastic as usual, I am quite tired. Didn't get some very good sleep last night. Now SVU is using this bomb to block both of these blowhogs, except he gets hit with it because he failed to get away from it in time. And this is not going as well for SVU as he had hoped. Quite far from it, it seems. Wait, hold on. Why did Boulder just lose Pikmin? Nah, screw this. I'm not using the death counter this time. I've already lost track. This is why I really wish we had a built-in death counter in game. Well, it looks like both players have got a group of old men, although that happened quite some time ago. Catch up, Alex. Alright. Boulder is close to mid. While SVU is still plucking his way to 56, because Boulder's already got his full 60. All but one of them with him currently. And Boulder, as a result, seeing the larger advantage he has, is spicying. Good move, given the circumstances. Now here comes SVU to try and stop him, prompting a split from Boulder. Tries to do a 4-way split, and only manages a 3-way split, and still gets most of his squad bettered. Now SVU drops this barrier, hoping Boulder wouldn't notice, but Boulder has noticed and was able to save most of the Pikmin. Keyword, most. Okay, all but one, actually. Now SVU is stun-storming Boulder while intercepting a couple of the marbles unspicy. Boulder has been able to secure one, at least. SBU now taking in this corpse to outgrow Boulder. As the Water Wraith is now able to spawn, but will not spawn until its spawn point is approached. So that means we now get to find out where it is. It seems Boulder had a Dirigibug hiding there off to the right from outside of his base the whole time. But because he didn't walk under it until just now, it didn't drop in until just now. Boulder suffers 2 losses to that Volatile Dweevil, as the Water Wraith is indeed in mid. Given that Boulder once again was the first to make it to mid, he's trying to get away with another marble here. But if I were Boulder, I would be splitting this spicy, like, now. More like a while ago, because, yeah, that happens if you don't. Now, SVU is the one spicying. But Boulder has been able to bitter him similarly well. Now, SVU does still have 1 spicy remaining. But Boulder also has 1 bitter remaining. The Shearwigs have eaten a couple of SVU's Pikmin. Now, Boulder is gearing up for an interception. The Wraith is making its another pass back. Boulder trying to get his Pikmin out of the way. Successfully for now, it seems. SBU also successfully doing it for now. But I think a lot of Pikmin are about to die. Yep. And this watery Blowhog being here is certainly helping Boulder. Although SBU is now the one with the numbers advantage. Of course, that could all change very suddenly. If the Water Wraith were actually interested in coming back. Rather than just getting stuck here. Okay, no, Wraith is coming back now, and SBU manages to get even more of Boulder's Pikmin crushed, but also more of his own crushed. But it's still mostly Boulders that died here, allowing SBU to secure this marble and that one too. But there are still more marbles yet to be fought over in mid. Specifically, there is one more. Now SBU gets to use his Pluckerphone to immediately leap back into action. Whereas the Water Wraith is currently outside Boulder's base, doing the same on his end, quite difficult. But Boulder doesn't really have a choice. Sometimes you have to do what's difficult. There's the last marble. The third marble, where the fourth is in the corner of Boulder's base, or in the corner of SBU's base, if SBU is the one to secure this marble. This marble here, the last remaining marble in mid, is now the one to go for. Boulder is able to secure 2 marbles, SBU was able to secure 2 marbles. It is going to come down to that marble in mid, or to a base rush. Now Boulder is going back to Pluck, while SVU warps back to base. With both of these marbles he's been able to secure in tow. Add on to that a +5, and I think SVU is strongly favoured to win this next engagement. Okay, it's not even funny anymore. Strong to stronger to stronger still. That is SVU's position and how it's developed. I am honestly actually angry watching this. It is not fair. Boulder was doing quite well as well. But no. Now SBU gets to end it all. These Boulder larvae might slow him down a bit. But Boulder needs to be able to count on a lot more than that to be able to win. Once SVU has this marble out of mid, it's over. And now SVU is only ensuring that it's even more over. As here he comes. Yep, this is the end of that. The end of this round has already occurred. It is only a matter of time. Boulder has realized this. And is just standing around rather than resigning. Because he was acting in a way that suggested resignation, wasn't actually hitting resign. Boulder is currently grabbing cherries as if that would do anything at this stage. As the score is SVU 1, Boulder 0. Huh? The game's frozen. The game is closed. Why does this happen so often? Oh, Xian's dolphin crashed completely! Well, I'm back in now. But neither of the participants. Oh, SVU is. What about Boulder? Is Boulder gonna be back? Not yet, it seems. Oh, now Boulder's back. As it seems, Concrete Playground has won the map vote for round 2. No, why? Why are we doing this? It's not necessary. I just want to get back to the match. Concrete Playground. Not Bodmin Grotto, Concrete Playground. Wait, what? No, wait, SVU's player 1. What's going on? Hmm? Okay, I think you only just saw that it was Concrete Playground. Right, well he's ready now, so let the round begin! So, let me look at this now. Those are unusually large chromats. I know they can vary in size, but those are some of the biggest ones I've ever seen. As for you not having a very good time with that snitch bug, it seems. Wow, he's really not having a good time with that snitch bug. That said, he definitely has a lead on growth in general. Although Boulder is about to hit 50. What is it with the snitch bug? It's taking SVU an age to kill. There we go. That'll be 49 now. And 49 for Boulder. Who will be first out? The answer is SVU. And Boulder about 4 seconds later. Boulder hesitates for a while before grabbing a Pikmin in advance and throwing it to the cherry. Both SVU and Boulder having a few snitch bug issues again. Boulder actually the one having more now. While Boulder is otherwise occupied with this snitch bug, SVU is spicying across 2 marbles. The marble closest to the center on each side. The one on his own side he's got away with. The one on Boulder's side, Boulder needs to stop. Oh dear! But SVU being distracted by putting Pikmin all the way over there has allowed his numbers to be seriously thinned out by these Bulbul. Okay, not as seriously as I was initially thinking. Because of how much the numbers kept going down because of the Pikmin fights and then up again after they respawned. Still. Boulder now has a sizable Pikmin advantage and can now take these 2 cherries with him as well. Boulder has been able to secure 2 marbles from mid. Well, SVU I think will also be getting 2. No, 3! That's gonna be great for him. He only needs 1 more. The only question is, where is the best one to go for? Where is the natural one to go for next? Well, now he's going to have a look. Although he's got to be careful because Bolt can drop Bull Bear on him. Behind him, actually. Already it needs 3 of his Pikmin that lagged behind. Got a little bit stuck, I think, on the seesaw block. But Boulder has also just lost one to the Shearwig. Now SVU is making his play with a second Spicy for the marble. And it is going to have to travel the long way. SVU full bitters Boulder's counter Spicy. But Boulder then uses his Pluckaphone at this point, which I'm not necessarily sure. Well, no, SVU is about to win, so it was better than. It was the best thing you could have done with it, really. Now Boulder has bittered this lot. SVU tries to use this barrier to try and turn the tide of the contest. Now gets an utterly useless +5. It remains unclear who will... Okay. Boulder! SVU has no spike... Yeah, okay. It's very slightly towards SVU's side now. But SVU's gone back to Pluck first. This marble needs to make it far enough over to Boulder's side before SVU can go back and continue the contest. It's hard to tell right now whether it's made it far enough or not. There's no real indication of that. Well, there are some of Boulder's Pikmin sitting idle, so that's not a good sign. No! Boulder has secured the marble! Which means SBU is going to have to go for a different one. And he doesn't have any spices left to do that. At this point, it's going to come down to positioning. As SBU is taking his position. He's going for cherries. Can Boulder intercept them? SBU leads a large advance guard to try and stop Boulder from intercepting these cherries. Which has proven largely successful. No, completely successful. Every single cherry made it past. But now SBU is determined to have the final say on this marble over here. This is, after all, the last marble remaining on the map. If SBU gets it, he wins, and if he doesn't, he loses. SBU's gone back to pluck first. Not a good sign for Boulder. These Matites are an even worse sign. SBU is successfully getting Boulder to waste his time. Or rather, is wasting it for him. Now SBU's coming back with 13 Pikmin to Boulder's 7. Boulder does not have an answer to this. That marble is going to make it too far over by the time Boulder's got any Pikmin to stop it. So this round is SBU's. There's nothing Boulder can do. The marble has more carriers than Boulder has Pikmin on him in total. Yet Boulder is still going after it. All he's going to be able to do with this is slow it down. He can't stop it. He can't stop the victory. He can't avert his defeat. He's just going to have to try again in the next round. Still, given how close this one was, and how decently close the first one was too, there's a very good chance Boulder will win at least one round, and it's still not just possible, but not entirely unlikely Boulder could win. But the score for now is nonetheless SBU 2, Boulder 0. This time, the choice is between Rusted Ring, Citadel of Steel, Spider's Den, and Emperor's Arena. On the one hand, maps with fewer gimmicks are ones Boulder is less likely to screw up on. On the other hand, those maps are more straightforward, allowing fewer opportunities to throw a wrench in the works of SVU's highly efficient and fast play. Boulder therefore has a choice to make, and his choice was Spider's Den. Ew. I don't like that. Well, it's not what we got. It's Rusted Ring that's what we got. So, ha. Although, not really ha, given That was what SVU wanted. No, it was what Nubtop wanted. Neither player got what they wanted. Nubtop was the one who got what he wanted. Well, Nubtop, let's hope you enjoy it. Let the round begin. Well, great start. Now this is one of the most straightforward maps there is. No special gimmicks, no particularly dangerous enemies, and a linear layout. The only real major thing to keep in mind is that there is only one of each spray. When you use your spicy, you really need to make it count. And when you use your bitter, you also really need to make it count. Now, making sprays count is something SBU is very good at doing. As I have had to unfortunately learn the hard way several times over by now. Boulder will need a way to outplay that. And having a faster opening could just be it. But it's hard to have a faster opening than one of the fastest players in the server. SVU is you grabbing a cherry. There are plenty of cherries there in mid. And one of them is decently close, so he might as well throw the spare Pikmin he's got over to it. As it is becoming quite clear, quite quickly, the Boulder is not outgrowing SVU here, it is rather the opposite. But what these cherries are, and what they do for our participants, could be what makes and breaks this round. Although SVU is certainly stocking up on them, yeah, Boulder has been quite fast. I still think SVU is outgrowing him on this round specifically, but again, not by much. Oof. All these cherries SVU was getting are really coming into play now. They've allowed SVU to make off uncontested with the center marble. Boulder had a slight growth lead while SVU was executing that play, but I feel like the consequences of that play make it well worth it. Make it well worth falling a bit behind on the growth where you were previously ahead. That said, despite the losses SVU has suffered, as presumably a couple other courses have come in, SVU is once again on top on growth. Boulder is trying to kill this blowhole so that it no longer poses a threat to him, and his plans here in mid. But SVU has already walked back to base, and is plucking back to full strength. If Boulder doesn't go back and do the same quickly enough, he'll find himself at a large positional disadvantage, and that is some position you never, never want to be in if you can avoid it. No amount of Pikmin, no amount of sprays, no amount of cherries will ever matter if you cannot bring all of that with you where it needs to be in time. And this is a lesson Boulder is now learning the hard way. Bringing things where they need to be, when they need to be there, is after all the essence of Pikmin itself. It's no wonder SVU has so devastating a victory in the works this round. From very close to very far ahead. While Boulder has more Pikmin than SVU and still holds the final spicy, SVU is heavily outposition gaming him right now. And Boulder has only just been able to secure his first marble, which I believe came from his own side. Now SVU has bitted the majority of Boulder's Pikmin and shut down Boulder's final spicy. But as you note, it is not over. Now, Boulder is the one with the positional advantage, as SVU has had to head back to base in order to continue to be able to do anything. This has ceded map control in mid to Boulder completely. And Boulder is successfully baiting away the Bull Bear so it no longer poses a threat to it. And given that SVU has no sprays left because this is Rusted Ring, Boulder is the one controlling the court. What I was saying about the positional advantage remains true. As now Boulder has learned his lesson and is applying it excellently. But SVU is making the play for the final marble remaining in mid. Boulder needs to be able to stop him here. And these cherries may just be the key. Bumbling Snitch Bug for SVU, not great. Not really what he needs right now. It's this particular contest that needs to be won. Oh, but the Pluckophone just might seal the deal! Boulder needs something that can match that, and quickly! And I don't think he's getting it! The fate of the round, decided by one Pluckophone. Potential grounds to nerf it yet again. The Pluckophone even came back at the very end, just to send that same message. SVU 3, Boulder 0. Huh. Well, SVU was insisting that he was probably going to win anyway. But I feel like that's something he would say. Well, the options are Battle Yard, Construction Fortress, Boulder Basin, and Combat Zone. 3, 2, 1. The winner is Construction Fortress. SVU needs to unready and ready again. Yep, okay. The round begin! Yeah, we have this layout. Boulder tries to lure that dwarf bulb inwards. Seems to be going well. Male Shigra up there. Send someone to deal with that. More than one. You don't just send one Pikmin after a male Shigra. The recipe of disaster that. Hello, Coco. You're just in time to witness Construction Fortress. Oh dear, one of SVU's Pikmin is digging a marble up. You should go and sort that out. Yep, sorted. Hard to say whose bridge is going to finish. I think SVU's bridge is probably going to finish first. No! Boulder's bridge finishes first. But SBU is nonetheless the one taking the initiative here. As Boulder's bridge finished while Boulder was away, and SBU's bridge finished while he was there. So despite Boulder's bridge finishing first, SBU is probably going to be first to mid. Two Burrow-Nits for Boulder. Large and imposing, but actually rather weak. They only have a bit more HP than a Dwarf Bulborb, and their faces are easy to swarm. And they can only attack one Pikmin at once, and takes a while for them to actually kill one. Both players making their way over through the enemies to the center marble. SVU goes for it! Boulder needs to stop him! Boulder wants to make sure that this is his marble. And I think it is going to be. Now SVU's back in base plucking and Boulder needs to get on it. Well, that Pluckaphone certainly is not going to help Boulder's chances. But this Blowhog is actually slowing down SVU a fair bit, even despite the Pluckaphone. Well, now he's on the move. We see the center marble making its way onto Boulder's side. Now, if I were SVU, I would, at this stage, try to spicy for... Actually, I don't know. Boulder's actually almost here. No, at this point, I'd honestly just unspicy... No, wait. Well, he insists on spicying. When Boulder's trying to get a majority better. Alright. Wasn't the best, but wasn't the worst either. Well, SBU, I think, is just storing up the spare better. as Boulder wants to build the bridge back. Boulder has secured the center marble as well as one on his own side. Another marble on Boulder's side is moving, but I can't tell who has it. It's SVU! SVU's managed to take a marble from Boulder's side. With that, he still stands a good chance at winning. In fact, with that spare bitter, I dare say he stands a very good chance. Then what these cherries he's getting too. Now Boulder has caught up on the total numbers, but some of them are still busy building his bridge. Now SVU is spicy to secure 2 marbles from his own side, and there'll be one more there that he can use to win. Boulder is counter-spicying with a wall split. Both bitter the majority of each other's squads. And SVU uses the spare bitter to bitter almost all of Boulder's Pikmin. And then follows it up with a barrier right as the Pikmin re-emerge. This may be lost for Boulder at this point. In fact, it is very likely lost to Boulder at this point. He doesn't have his Pikmin, he's not where he needs to be, and SVU is about to win. This would be the time for Boulder to turn things around with a spicy. If he had one! But he's still going to go for it anyway. And he is going to try and play the position game now, blocking SVU's squad and keeping it away. Hoping he can do so for long enough to get the marble back over. But Pikmin AI is being as Pikmin AI often... Oh, wait! The Metites just might save the day! Or not. This is going to be a masterclass in block. This is going to be a masterpiece in blocking in order to succeed. Boulder is outnumbered here. He is going to need to be the best blocker, the best maneuverer, the best manipulator of positions we've ever seen in order to turn this around. And that, at this stage, is not something I think he can count on. Well, with 21 Pikmin, he's still going to try and make it work. The marble has now crossed back over to bridge side of SVU's base. But this is where it was when Boulder managed to take it out of SVU's hands the first time. Making this work a second time, I do not think is on the cards. He's doing it! But I don't think he can keep... I don't think this is gonna... No. That's 3 carriers. SVU has more... Yeah, SVU can just make them betray Boulder. This is over. SVU 4, Boulder 0. Well, for a large part of the day, we had no power. They had to cut it while they were doing some sort of maintenance on the power lines. And given that I need power to be able to use my PC, and given that I need to be able to use my PC to be able to study, and given that studying is the main thing I wanted to do today, yeah, there's the difficulty. Apart from that, today's been fine. Not a lot has happened, but that is often the case. Alright. This is it. Boulder's last chance to turn the match around. Multiple very close rounds. But close does not cut it. Boulder needs an outright victory. Not just one, but 5 in a row. Can he do it? Well, Boulder is voting for Halls of Grandeur, and SVU agrees with that choice. Boulder also votes for Construction Fortress again. Actually, for all the maps! Why would you do that? Why would you vote for all the maps? I suppose just voting against the meme options. But a meme option still won anyway. Which means I need to get the random number generator back up. Right, what one is that? So I've got to pick a map. Which one am I going to pick? Deep Blue is banned, Emperor's Arena is banned. Submerged Skirmish isn't banned, but I don't really want to... For once, I don't really want to do Submerge as we already had it. Don't want to do Construction Fortress again. I want to do something we haven't done yet. I want to do something we haven't done yet. You know what? I choose Boulder Basin. Let the round begin! Deep Blue is banned. I would have picked it if it wasn't. Ooh, oh, come on! No! No! That's just unfortunate! Boo! I want a do-over! This is not how I wanted Boulder Basin to go! Still, Boulder is actually managing to take out this Boulder with just his 10 starting Pikmin and not losing a single one. Oh, about that. Now he doesn't have enough Pikmin to carry it, but he soon will. Taking this thing out this early on, and with SVU failing to do the funny, means Boulder could actually have a large advantage right now. SVU is going to be hard-pressed to outgrow this. But he is trying. He is... I think he's actually might be doing it. Well, given how far away, or far off that blowhog walked. Gonna be hard. SBU currently has the advantage of growth, or he did just have one of his Pikmin drown, so that's helping Boulder. Right, bring it in. Bring it in. Get back to plucking. Oh dear, yeah, no, SBU has the lead here. Boulder took out the Bullbear, but SBU managed to outgrow it. Now SBU can get started on some marbles. Not great for Boulder at all. Rounding up a bunch of cherries too. I was the one who voted for Bullbear Basin. We randomed the option where I picked the map, and I picked Bullbear Basin because I wanted to pick Deep Blue, but Deep Blue was banned, and we already had so much skirmish I didn't want to do it again, so I picked Bullbear Basin. At least I picked Boulder Basin. I thought it might go differently. I thought SBU might struggle a little bit on it compared to the other maps. I thought it might give Boulder an opportunity. Well, it did give Boulder an opportunity. Boulder actually handled the Bullbear quite well. Issue is SBU was able to play fast enough to outgrow that. Now Boulder is about to hit 47, but SBU is about to make a decisive marble play, I think. Boulder needs to be prepared. But prepared, I think he is. Ooh. Here comes the spicy. And here comes the better. Now, Boulder still has more. Oh, come on! That was a majority. Seriously? And now SBU's yoinking even more cherries, as if the ones he had before weren't enough. Well, of course they weren't. But Boulder is mainly interested in these marbles, and SBU does not currently have the means to contest them. So, that is actually first marble of the game for Boulder, I think. What are these cherries that do for SBU? First one is a sticky bomb that he can't really use right now and probably won't ever be able to use well enough. There's not really opportunity for something like that to do a bunch of damage here. At least, I don't imagine there will be. I could be imagining wrong. Now Boulder's going for an unspicy dig for the second marble here. Manages to get the Shearwigs more or less fine. But now SVU is on the way. He will be hungry for that marble. Or just for these marbles, actually. Because now he's using his first spicy to split across 1, 2... 2! Just 2? Just 2. I think he'd be a bit worried about overextending if he went for... Oh! I see what's going on here, and I do not like it. Boulder is trying to do the thing SBU did to him on Construction Fortress. He is trying to pluck defend against the rest of this spicy and stock up a spare bitter. Boulder being very efficient with the carrying too, recognizing that the Shearwigs are the priority because you get 4 Pikmin a pop with just the 1 carrier needed. But now Boulder is going to need to be ready for these larvae. They are never great to have around while you're busy plucking. Now here comes SVU with the spicy. Second spicy. Splitting across one. There's the other marble. The other one he needs. He can go for it now. Boulder needs to intercept him now. Boulder is going the other. He's taking a detour. Cutting straight through to SVU's base. Attempting a wall split. Ooh! This is a good split! But Boulder needs to get the rest of the Pikmin back while there's still enough time for the spicy to the rest of the spicy to do its thing. Yellow marble's the priority, Boulder. Yellow marble! And now the spare bitter can change everything. But for whatever reason, he's not using it. Presumably, he wants to save it for the last of the marbles. Because there is still one there. Bomb Storm. I would have used it right now. And by right now, like 10 seconds ago. Like, as soon as he got it, I would have used it. Boulder realizes he needs to be on the ball on the position game. He needs to get there, he needs to make this work. But SVU is already trying to outposition him, and this is when the bombs drop in! Boulder successfully using blocking to thin out SVU's squad and secure the squad size advantage! He's sticking the marble. Here comes SVU with the sticky bomb. Forces Boulder off. But now it's time to get back to work. Now in comes SVU again. Boulder fetches more Pikmin. Leaps back to the scene. Jumps back and plucks more as SVU is attempting the interception. Boulder uses the pluckaphone because he realizes he cannot afford to let this slide. As SVU is Pikmin pipering Boulder's Pikmin away. But it is not going to work. Now here comes SVU. Trying to lure Boulder's Pikmin to a fiery end. But Boulder is on it. He is not having it. In my opinion, all Boulder needs to do at this point is keep defending this marble, and when SVU comes up to intercept, bitter! He has this in the bag if he uses the bitter. And a little bit of blocking. Alright. This is it. Ooh! SVU tried to get Boulder's Pikmin away, but in doing so lost control of his own squad. This blunder has allowed Boulder to win even without the spare bitter. SVU 4, Boulder 1. Alright, looks like this time the chat will be picking. As Jerry chooses Submerged, Nubtub chooses Halls. And is Deep Blue banned again? Yes, it is. Right, there's 2 for Submerged, 1 for Halls. 2 for Submerged, 1 for Halls, going once. Okay, 2 for Submerged and 2 for Halls. 2 for Submerged and 2 for Halls, going once. Going twice. It's a tie, which means I need to flip a coin. Alright, heads is Halls, tails is Submerge. Tails! Alright, let the round begin. Ooh! The Boulder is right outside Espu's base. Then again, the same is also true for Boulder. Maybe if there's a Dirigibug that drops in soon, that could turn things around for one of the 2 players. Espu is immediately going for the Bulbmin. Boulder is trying to lure the Bulbmin into the base. I have no idea what that is. Okay, Boulder needs to whistle the last Bulbmin. There we go. So Boulder will soon be hitting 57. SV will also be hitting 57. No, SV is going to be hitting 60. Boulder realizes he's probably just going to have to try and make 57 work. Getting to mid will be the more important thing. But these blowhogs, this is not nice to look at. SVU's already hit his full 60. Boulder's only got 57, doesn't even have them all with him. He's gonna have to go get them quickly. But SVU is taking his sweet time with this watery blowhog. Ooh, to flower up. He evidently thinks that's going to be particularly important. Now, Boulder is trying to quickly take out this Dirigibug. As SVU suffers some losses to the Wally, that is definitely going to hold him back and give Boulder a fighting chance. But now Boulder needs to take this chance. Oh dear. Looks like both players are having some serious enemy issues. And SBU is first to mid, taking 3 cherries. And using a spicy, which he has already split across 3 marbles. And now here comes Boulder without a spicy, thinking he can outplay this. Without a spicy and at a Pikmin disadvantage, with SBU watching his every move. This is hard to watch. SBU has decisively secured control of mid, taking 1, 2 marbles probably from it. Might even be able to get away with 3. As Boulder goes all the way back to base, SBU indeed secures 2 marbles, possibly 3. Boulder is having to make his move. Okay, look, Boulder, what are you doing? Well, now it's Water Wraith time. Provided we know where it's going to drop in. As SVU knows he already has all 3 marbles he needs, and he's just winning now. This is sad. I thought it was going to be more interesting than this. This is it. This is the end. Boulder was just too slow. And he failed to counter Spicy at all. He didn't even try. With a final score of 5-1. SBU has won the match and claims the bronze medal. With that, SBU and Boulder both exit the tournament, having claimed 3rd and 4th place respectively. Only one match remains of Sprout League 2, the final between Anto and Zien, to be taking place tomorrow. Until then, stay tuned.